Oh, come on, Puddin'. Don't you wanna rev up your Harley?
What was that? I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry. The voices. I'm kidding. That's not what they really said.
Hi guys, so my name is Jenna and this is my CT 280 essay proposal for popular culture and meaning. Hi Dr. Atkinson. So just a little background about why I chose my essay topic. This past summer I saw Suicide Squad for the first time, and right after watching it I immediately was overcome by this fascination for Harley Quinn and her character. As a kid I never knew anything about her. I didn't read comic books. I never saw even any of the common superhero movies, so I never really knew who she was. But after watching this movie, I was like immediately captivated by her. So she is kind of the background of my essay. So since that night, I have seen the phenomenon of Harley Quinn just kind of blow up in our society and around influences around me. I've just seen it everywhere. And so I'm using this essay as an opportunity to discuss the counterculture phenomenon that is Harley Quinn and kind of why I find it a little disturbing, and why I think, just understanding the fame that she has and explaining it. So throughout my essay, I'm going to be touching on a few key points surrounding Harley's fame, including her unpopular character traits that fans are actually admiring, that you wouldn't typically admire in a character, and what it is that young females are relating to with her. I'm also going to be touching on the fact that fans use Harley as a way to overcome the negative stereotypes that are associated with sexual submission or abusive relationships. So the first article that I will be using is titled Harley Quinn Portrayal Trades Strength for Sexualization. So this article focuses on the idea that the power and persona of the original Harley that was portrayed in cartoons, in the comics, is very much altered in the Suicide Squad version of her. So instead of being this intelligently evil character who is under abusive control of the Joker, she's shown in Suicide Squad as more ditzy and an over-sexualized murderer who is madly in love with her Puddin'. And the relationship is shown as very consensual, which I found very interesting that they changed a large component of that relationship. They changed basically their whole, what it is they are in the comics for. They completely changed that and made it much more almost negative towards Harley, which I found fascinating. So this article will identify all of the new characteristics that Harley encompasses, and it will also connect some of the reasoning for the admiration of her young fans, her young female fans. So the second article that I'll be using to prove this sensation is Masochist or Machiavellian by Kate Roddy. So this article discusses the submissive side of Harley and focuses more on her fame from the comic book side of things rather than the Suicide Squad of things. So in the last article it touched upon her movie debut and the more recent modern depictions of her. So this article takes it on the flip side and looks at how she was really portrayed in the comics and how she was born, like how she was brought into our pop culture world and how she was originally supposed to, be portrayed as. So it shows a lot of the less glamorous sides of things when looking at the Joker and her relationship, which I found fascinating because it doesn't sugarcoat anything and it talks about the real character development that was written. So one of the points that I found really interesting from this article is that they explained the love for Harley as that her greatest flaw is that she loves people that don't deserve her love. So her love for those who don't deserve it, I guess is what they say. And everyone can relate to that. And so I kind of looked at this through a 13-year-old girl's perspective, and it kind of made me understand maybe why I would admire this deviant woman. So it kind of gives a different perspective, which I thought was very interesting. And the third article that I'll be using is called Harley Quinn Can Be 2016's Most Popular Movie Character. So this talks about kind of more back to the Suicide Squad version and discusses psychologically kind of like who Harley is and what she stands for. But then it also talks about how she was the most sought after costume of 2016 in all Halloween stores. And I think that's really interesting, is that even though people are aware of these like really negative, nasty things, that she was like exactly who all young girls want to be this Halloween. So that was kind of interesting. So the reason I'm so passionate about this topic is because I've become overwhelmed with her fame almost. Just kind of reading through all these articles and realizing how kind of negative she is. Like, I'm just fascinated with how famous she's become. Also because I did become fascinated with her myself. So I kind of want to dig deep and understand why even I, like, fell in love with her and, like, thought she was so cool. So I want to really understand, like, what makes her that way and what it is about her character that makes her such a large popular culture icon. So I truly believe that through my research that I found, like, my topic surrounding the counterculture of Harley Quinn could be a very captivating, make for a very captivating paper. There was also a textbook I found, which was an introduction to the theories of popular culture by Dominic Strinati. And there's a chapter in there that focuses on how women are portrayed in cinema. And I think it really ties into the sexualization of Harley and kind of explains why that's such a popular thing in cinema and why it gets good ratings and why people respond well to it. So that was also an interesting source that I want to use. But yeah, Harley's everywhere. She's literally everywhere. She's all over Instagram. A couple days after Halloween I looked, and I knew about 12 girls personally that dressed up as Harley Quinn. The other day I was scrolling through Twitter, and So You Think You Can Dance just did a gorgeous waltz to Suicide Squad theme. So it was a Suicide Squad themed song from the soundtrack, and they were dressed as Harley and the Joker. So like everything is being so influenced by this, like a lot of pop culture areas are being influenced. So I really want to dig deep and find that. So I really do hope that I have enough convincing research, because I really feel that this can make for a very captivating paper. And yeah, I just really want to figure out why she's so goddamn popular. So thanks for watching, and go Harley go.